So, tell me, Netflix, was the backlash from cuties not enough?
Give me something for the pain and let me die.
The Realm. Do you know what the Realm is? It's the thousand blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agree to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another video about David Benioff and DB Weiss. That's right, in this video, I want to discuss the recent news that has been making headlines on the internet over the last few days. Some of you might not know this, but the writers and showrunners from Game of Thrones are now working on a new series for Netflix, and I want to give my thoughts on whether I think this was a good idea or not. Now, before I give my thoughts on the new show, let me give you some of the info on what this is all about. According to Entertainment Weekly, they said Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and Dan Weiss have announced their next TV series. Once again, they are adapting an acclaimed series of novels, only this time in the realm of sci-fi. Just for the record, I am a very big fan of sci-fi. It might be one of my favorite genres, so this definitely has me interested after reading what it's about. However, I am somewhat concerned because of who will be running the show. David and Dan are joining their forces with the writer and producer Alexander Woo, who worked on True Blood. Together, they will tackle Luz, the Three-Body Problem trilogy, which depicts humanity's first contact with an alien civilization. Now, I know I butchered his last name, so from here on out, I will only refer to him as Lu. The saga's debut book was published to a considerable acclaim in China in 2008, while an English translation by Ken Liu became the first Asian novel ever to win a Hugo Award for Best Novel in 2014. The New Yorker dubbed Liu China's Arthur C. Clarke, referring to the 2001 A Space Odyssey screenwriter. Liu's trilogy is the most ambitious science fiction series we've read, taking readers on a journey from the 1960s until the end of time, from life on our pale blue dot to the distant fringes of the universe, Benioff and Weiss said in a statement. We look forward to spending the next years of our lives bringing this to life for audiences around the world. Now, I do wonder, how many years are they willing to invest into this new series, because after a while, they got sick and tired of working on Game of Thrones. They more or less said they wanted to move on to other things because they spent so many years making that one show. What will they do if this show becomes very successful and Netflix wants more seasons? Will they honor their commitment, or will they run this series into the ground as well, so they can prematurely evacuate, like they did with George R. R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire adaptation? Let's see what else is said. It is a privilege to be adapting one of the great masterpieces of Chinese science fiction. The Three-Body Problem trilogy combines so many things I love. Rich, multi-layered characters and true existential stakes, all told as an elegant and deeply human allegory. The title refers to a problem in physics of computing the trajectory of three bodies interacting with one another. In the novel, a nearby solar system where three stars make life hell for those who live on an Earth-like planet. Liu and Ken Liu will serve as consulting producers on the project. The author released a statement that seems to anticipate criticism about Benioff and Weiss adapting an English-language adaptation of a Chinese novel. I have the greatest respect for and faith in the creative team adapting the Three-Body Problem for television audiences, Liu said. I set out to tell a story that transcends time and the confines of nations, cultures, and races. One that compels us to consider the fate of humankind as a whole. It is a great honor as an author to see this unique sci-fi concept travel and gain fandom across the globe, and I am excited for new and existing fans all over the world to discover the story on Netflix. Once again, Dan and Dave's Jedi mind tricks must be at the height of their powers. It should be very interesting to see how well they adapt this body of work. I actually can't wait to watch this, for the same reasons we all slow down to look at a wrecked car on the side of the road. Among the many executive producers on the project are some familiar names. Star Wars: The Last Jedi writer-director Rian Johnson. Wow, Netflix actually assembled the holy trinity of stupidity. That's outstanding. Also, Game of Thrones veteran Bernadette Caulfield, actor Brad Pitt via his entertainment production company, and actress Rosamund Pike via her production company. Now, all jokes aside, I will say this. Dan and Dave are not that bad when they have source material to adapt. As far as I know, the sci-fi books they are adapting for this Netflix series are completed, so they do have that in their favor. The only thing is, how much do they love this new book series? Are they simply making this show because of all the money they will be getting? Now, I'm only speculating here, but I honestly do think Dan and Dave did love the first 3 or 3.5 books in A Song of Ice and Fire. I think that's why the first 4 seasons were so great. But, for whatever reason, they did not want to adapt books 4 and 5 the same way they did with the first 3. That makes me think they did not care about them as much, which is why they ran through that material as fast as they could. Now, I don't only want to give my opinion, so let's see what some of the fans have to say. David Watson says, Benioff and Weiss are the greatest writers and producers on the planet. Game of Thrones received 59 Emmys under the control of these guys. Season 8 of Game of Thrones walked off with 12 Emmy wins, including for Best Drama Series. Networks and streaming services would kill for those trophies. Now let's put things into perspective. We all would agree that Marvel's Endgame was the biggest movie of 2019. Certainly, it made the most money at the box office than any movie in history. It even trumps Lord of the Rings in the box office department. What about Oscars? How many Oscars did Endgame receive? Wait. Oh, that's right. Endgame did not receive 1 Oscar trophy. It's sounding more like Endgame was more of a roller coaster ride than a great story. Don't you agree? Whereas Game of Thrones is a great story and has 59 Emmy trophies to back it up. Game of Thrones Season 8 Long Night episode was much better than Marvel's Endgame, by the way. Now, I have not seen Marvel's Endgame, so I can't speak to most of what he said here. Saying Benioff and Weiss are the greatest writers has to be a joke, but I will agree with one thing that he said. Networks do want to win awards, there's no question about that, but at what cost? Are they willing to sacrifice the story to showcase the actors in less interesting ways to win awards? I don't know. But that's what Dan and Dave did for a few seasons at the very least. Robert said, here's to hoping they have lots of source material. Silva says, I've honestly not heard of this series of novels, but I am intrigued. Hopefully the series turns out great. Let's hope Dumb and Dumber don't get bored halfway through and decide to dumpster fire rush an ending so they can get away and do something else. They took a huge dump all over Game of Thrones and its fan base with that final season. Yikes. Do you even dare invest any of your time into anything Dumb and Dumber makes after they completely messed up something that could have been so amazing? This duo gets bored so fast and is always looking for the next best thing. They obviously do not know how fabulous something is, even if it's right in front of them. Disney made the ultimate best decision with ditching them early from Star Wars. As you can see, I'm still furious with how they killed Game of Thrones. No other show should ever have to suffer. I'm done with this writing duo. I will not give them any more of my time after that big middle finger to loyal fans of Game of Thrones. They wanted to get onto their lucrative contract and didn't even try to pretend that they gave a damn about the trash way they ended Game of Thrones. Most of the responses to this article were negative, so I won't bother reading them all. I think you see where this was heading. What I want to know is how many of you are interested in watching another show from these writers? Will you be able to invest your time into something else they adapt? Now, I'm sure most people who come across their new series won't know anything about them, but I want to know what all of you think, considering you know their track record with Game of Thrones. I honestly don't see them ever having another show as successful as Thrones, which is why it's so crazy to me that they were willing to end it the way that they did. I don't know. Maybe they knew they had an offer from Star Wars long before we ever found out. So maybe they thought they could do whatever they wanted and still land a massive deal. One day, I hope someone releases a book that reveals what was actually happening behind the scenes of the show. Because something obviously happened that made George R. R. Martin want to distance himself from the show forever. Not only did he stop writing for Game of Thrones, but he stopped watching Game of Thrones. He even started to promote other shows, like The Last Kingdom, while Game of Thrones was releasing new episodes. I mean, how crazy is that? His relationship with David and Dan became very sour by the end. It's really kind of sad too, because you could see that George R. R. Martin was excited about the show during the early seasons, but by the end of its run, he did not want to even acknowledge its existence. I know we can speculate about what happened behind the scenes, but I would love to know what really went down. I think one day we will. Anyways, let me know down below. Will you watch Dan and Dave's new series on Netflix? I know I'm gonna have to check it out at least one episode just to see what they do with it. Something tells me Netflix won't get the support they are looking for, but hey, what do I know? Now I do want to make an announcement before I go. My girlfriend and I are making a video together on the Scott and Lacey Peterson case, and it will most likely be over an hour long because we dive into all the details of the case, and believe me, there is a lot to discuss. I will upload that video within a few days. If you like it, make sure you let us know because we will make more of them if there is a demand for it. I am interested in seeing how everyone responds to that video, so be on the lookout for that, as well as all my other videos. I want to thank everyone for stopping by and showing your support. I hope you all have a great day. I will see you again very soon. Bye.